Hey everybody, Zaysen from the Quest ECSS, Ending Child Sex Slavery. Anyway, wanted to give you guys some updates. I know it's been quiet a little bit, but we're fully active. What we've been doing is continuing the coronavirus safety measures, and the kids still loving it. They got all kinds of new jobs and competitions, and now we even got leaders that some of the girls oversee other girls to make sure that they're getting all the cleaning and everything that they need done, and they're thriving in this environment, which is awesome. Anyway, we got that down pat, and there are a lot of other things that are taking place right now. I don't want to miss anything here. Um, the uh, the action that's been going on. Well, let me get back to along with what's taking place. We're still fortifying a lot of the places that we keep the kids, and also we've got the one that the team has is got the fish pond that's fully functional now, and they're actually getting fish out of it in order to cook and using the meals. And we're also finishing a lot of the tunnels that we have there for food storage and preserving, and also for safety. And those are going really well. The walls are nearly complete. So we've got all that going on. At the same time, we wouldn't have been able to get all this done if it wasn't for a virus kind of shutting down the brothels. As far as that side goes, there's what's taking place right now is the other countries are more shut down than we are for the most part in our field of operation. And during this time, a lot of them have closed. We don't know what happened to a lot of the kids. They're not at the brothels right now. So they could have been killed or sold off or traded for something. So, and we don't have any leads on that. It happened so fast. And with the shutdown, hindered our abilities as well as theirs. What we are doing is monitoring them so that when they're going to have to bring in all new kids, so that means there's going to be a lot of kids being transported and brought back into the areas that we work in. And so we'll be watching, and we'll have excellent intel on that because we're not letting that go. Our spotters are still out there. They've never left their post. One of the other things is during this time, the bosses have went away, the gangs have went away. Awesome, but it won't last. In a lot of these countries, what's taking place is that if you're a foreigner or a pedophile and you're coming into the countries, some places you have to pay like an extra $3,000 to be there, and then you have to quarantine for 14 days. And so this makes it even more difficult, and there's lots of eyes on you. So it's very limited, but there are some entrepreneurs out there that are taking kids to them, but on a very limited scale. And I don't want to tell you yet because it's ongoing, but we're making headway there too, taking that down and saving some kids. So that's going on. Let me see here. I didn't want to get lost here. There's a couple really good things that's coming up. I mean, incredible things for the Quest. I mean, huge. One of the things is one of our properties has been fully funded for the next 10 years. That's the first time since we started this, since we officially started 2014, 2015, that this has happened. It's coming from an anonymous, and so, but it's real. It's already started. It's going through a trust, and it's guaranteed X amount of dollars for the next 10 years. And there's also plans in there for expansions and improvements, and also more facility for us to put more kids in there. There's also annual increases for food and things like that that we have to watch. If there's an emergency, we can call upon the trust in order to take care of certain things and to help us out, and they said they would within reason. So that's fantastic, because now we only got like 22 more to go. So, but 1 out of 22 is it's just frigging awesome. I'm so happy for everybody in there. Um, Also, before I get to the next big news, is that we've got a lot of uh, uh, needs that are being taken care of right now. So we're getting a lot of help. But there's also like I'm sorry, I'm getting a little scattered here, but I get a request for volunteers a lot, and it's a different circumstance in the situation that we're in. We're not just one of these charities that does specific things, and so easily controlled environment. They don't have the threats that we have. Ours are the worst in the world. Um, and when you kind of consider the types of gangs and officials that uh, are against what we're doing. So when we get a volunteer, a lot of times they have expectations of something far different than what they would be doing with us. So just kind of want to make clear, we're not a fake charity like so many others where you can go in and you can serve 2 weeks and make all these connections with kids and then leave them. It doesn't work that way. These kids have been severely abused and beaten, and a lot of other places where we have 100% retention rate, others 12 is the best they can do. And the reason for that is that I'm not a psychologist or nothing like that, but it's pretty obvious if you follow the path that these kids are developing when they're so young, and that they're not necessarily loved by their parents because they're female, and they're just another mouth to feed, and they have no expectation of them bringing money into the family. So they're sort of outcast to begin with, and they don't get the same sort of nurturing that you would here in the United States and or in other modern countries. And so when they're captured or taken, they're put into these places where there's the abuse and, I mean, horrible conditions. And, you can imagine, right? Anyway, during that time, they develop an understanding, they think, that this is the way it's supposed to be for them, and that maybe they have done something wrong or whatever, which they have not, obviously, but they don't know that. They're so young, and they're just finally found somebody that pays attention to them, even though it's so bad. So that when they're rescued and they're taken out of the situation, they're not comfortable, because they're always, handled with love and kindness, and they have freedoms. And so it's kind of like a prisoner getting out of prison. They get lost and they don't have direction. They don't feel like they found purpose. And even though everybody seems to know that they're kids, they're supposed to live like a child, and that's not what they feel because of the abuse. So many of them in these other charities leave or escape and go back to their brothels, because that's what they know, that's what they believe, and that's where they're comfortable. I know it's hard to wrap your mind around that, but it's the way it is. And you don't hear that out there, because I don't know people that are involved like we are. We're 100% too. That's another thing, is that we're start to finish. Yeah, there's a lot of hands in the pile that creates this environment for us that allows us to, you know, uh, take the kid, rescue the kid, give them a place where they get the love and they get the understanding, and then they get the education, they get healthy, and they also heal as best one could. At least with scars, they heal. Um, so when these volunteers come in, we expect at least 3 months minimum, and we kind of limit their contact with the kids so the attachments aren't made, because these kids are so used to people coming and going in and out of their lives that they need stability. That's one of the major things for their healing. And so we require 3, but we prefer like 6 months. And when you volunteer, you can't really choose the place. We'll tell you where you're needed. And if you think or have perceptions of how it may be, and you'll go in there and you'll be happy and you'll do things for the kids and help out around the place and all this good stuff. And well, it is and it isn't, because when you go there, you'll be required to stay there. and you're free to come and go, but you need escorts for multiple reasons. If you want details, feel free to call me or email me, and I'll tell you the reasons why. Recently, I responded to some people who wanted to volunteer, and I don't know where that is right now, but I wrote them back an email, and I started to reread my email. It almost sounded like I was running a cult, and that you can't come and go as you please, so to speak, and you can't do this and you can't do that. I was thinking of all the things that you can't do, because I kind of expect everybody to be kind of like me. Once you're there and you're with these kids and you see the purpose, you see the love, you see what's taking place in them, and knowing that you can't be that, but what you can be is a part of it. And I don't know how other to explain it, but you just become accustomed and you become amazed and blessed every moment that you're there with these kids. And so there's a risk, a high risk, when you're talking about armies over there, small armies like the Triad, the Ukrainians and stuff, and some of these governments that hate us so much for taking this what they would call a product away from them. Um, so if locations are found or specific kids are found, or a giveaway of where they're staying, where they're being located, and these sort of things, then they will come after us. Yes, we do have guards there, and they're strong. But 2 of our people can take care of 200 of them, and especially the way we are building our places. And again, see there, I started to talk about like it almost like a compound, and all I could see was like, oh my God, they're gonna think that I'm running a cult or something, but it's not even close. And by talking to me and by asking questions, I could definitely tell you why, and you'll understand. But when you go out, you're a danger. Okay. Also, I can do all the background checks and everything that on a person, and until I really get to know them, I don't know. They could go out and they could be spies. That's highly doubtful. But at the same time, they could be captured. They don't know what it's like, and they haven't been trained to deal with being captured or in captivity and being tortured and those sort of things, which is a high possibility. If somebody wants something bad enough, they'll do it. And there's desperate enough, a lot of people over there are desperate enough to pay to do these things. I mean, my God, there's people waiting in line to go and grab girls from Vietnam and bring them in to all these other countries. And because Vietnam is preferred because of the light skin of the girls. So, I'm getting long and I'm getting way off subject, but what I'm trying to impress is that we're full service. We take care of these kids until they're old enough to make that choice for themselves. Right now, some of those are making, or some have, and some are getting close to that age where they're free to come and go. And their experience, they have skills now where they can go out and prosper, which will make great stories when that starts to become a norm. And many of the kids that have already been released, I call it released, have graduated, so to speak, have went out and come back. And because they like helping, and they go out and they work and they bring back food, they also contribute some of their pay from the outside to help other little kids. They do the counseling, because that's another really important thing. If you got counseling experience and stuff here in the United States, it's really pretty much useless except for in preparation for yourself to what you're going to witness of what these kids gone through. I mean, it's just like these soldiers that went through the horrors that they did, and they suffer from PTSD. How you treat that, you got people that have no clue of that experience, so it's very difficult for them to find their way in. So the best counselor is one who also suffered and still suffers from these things. Speaking of that, almost every one of our team that's come here that suffered from that lost it in a very short period of time. I don't know what it is, but maybe a doctor would like to know or investigate, because it's really weird how it happens to just vanish once they start contributing with us. So anyway, the next surprise, yeah, I need to wrap it up. The next surprise is going to be really cool. Hopefully I'll be able to let you in on that coming up. It's already drawing a ton of attention. And you'll be surprised the story behind that. So anyways, I just wanted to put some stuff out there, give you guys some updates and what's going on. And there's going to be a lot to come from what's taking place right now that I just can't speak about. So anyways, thank you, everybody. Please like this and share it. Do whatever you can, and keep us in your prayers. We need help in so many ways, but we'll never end. We're not going anywhere. Nobody's going to take us away from what it is that we're doing. So anyways, love you all. Thank you.